Hi, welcome to Matt's Garage. Last episode you saw me get the frame and chassis painted, and today we're going to finish putting it together. So I went ahead and put the axles and suspension back on. Goes on just the same way it came off, but I also installed the Tom's Off-Road front disc brake conversion kit. I'm going to take you in close for a look at that. I should probably show you how I have the shop set up with the lift. I'm able to take the frame and take it way up and park the Jeep underneath if I take the front tires off, and then I've got the Chevy here. I'm just doing that now while it's cold. I like to bring all the horses in out of the cold. But as soon as it starts warming up just a little bit, the truck will go outside and we'll be able to leave it as is. Here is the Tom's Off-Road disc brake conversion. I'm going to put you up on a mount here and talk about this. I absolutely love this conversion kit. It goes together so easily. Like if you have drum brakes in the front of your Bronco, you've got to get this. Like this should be your #1 upgrade. I went with the drilled and slotted rotors just because that's all they had in stock at the time. I think they got the regular ones back in stock now, but it comes with the Tom's hubs, you know, the rotor, the spindle, and all the stuff you need to. It comes with everything you need to do it. It took me no time to install it, really. The only thing you reuse are the spindle nuts and the little spacer that goes between the spindle nuts. Everything else is all new. I cannot recommend it enough. Love this thing. So go get you one. What we're going to install today, one of the things we're going to install is the brake lines. Totally optional, but kind of worth it is to just get an all new brake line kit. Mine were totally gunked up. And plus, since I'm doing the conversion, the way it kind of attaches to the frame's a little different. I forgot to order the center hoses, so Shane over at Tom's is sending that out to me. I should have that by the end of the week, and that'll be part of this video. Let me get the other part I'm installing. I love seeing this box in my front door. Time! Oh, got a t-shirt, Tom's Off-Road t-shirt. Can't wait to roll that. So, shock steering stabilizer, new pitman arm. I needed to get a new pitman arm because I upgraded to all new steering components. Mine were trashed. I mean, these are not really serviceable. So yeah, that's going to be a huge upgrade. It allows you to adjust your steering wheel and dial everything in. Now, I mentioned I ordered the center brake lines because I screwed that up. I screwed up something else too. Let me show you what that was. Apparently, I've got a super rare 1966 Bud body Bronco. You can see the Ford 9-inch actually has a drain plug on it, and I don't have that same rear shock mount I had on the 73. I've got this thing, which is the rear shock mount, and so it doesn't take the double eyelet shocks. I got to get a shock that's the same as the front shock. So I told Tom's about this. They're like, we'll send you the 2 front shocks. I already have 2, but 2 more front shocks. We'll give you a return receipt for those 2 rear shocks. Another reason I like working with them, super easy, didn't ask any questions. They totally understand. The 66 is a weird thing. So this episode will take course over several days of me working in the shop. I'll be changing different light and all that, but you know, it'll make it so more gets done in one episode. So let's get to it. This thing must have been riding real nice. You see the bend in here? Holy smokes. It looks like it's about 8.5 inches off the end of the thing. Now I've got the other one. It's already painted. So I'm just gonna set this at 8.5 inches. Okay, too far on that. That took 84 minutes longer than I thought. Comes with a Zerk and a cotter pin, which is nice. So, and a nut. All right, Now with those on, you want to compare your old one to your new one, and those are pretty much the exact same length. So that's a good start to set it up. So everything's kind of loosely on. I'm just going to get this in here. We'll get one side in here, put the nut on. I'm going to put another one in here. Okay, so. Okay, so now I know that orientation's right. All right, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna set up our proportioning valve. So I'm just unbending my new brake line here that goes to the rear. Just, you can use your knee, kind of use your hand to kind of straighten it out. So I think this goes like this, to there, to there. My experience with this stuff, which granted I'm not a professional, but is to try to get that valve or the flare seated in there as best you can. Then so you want to go in as straight as possible. Get it hand tight, all right? Then you take your line wrench, you go in, loosen it. Tighten it a little more. Go loosen it. Tighten it, back. Tighten it, back. And then tighten it again a little further. And there, all right, so the rear is set. So that means this has got to be the front, right? So it was supposed to be somewhere in here. I'm guessing this hole maybe was a bracket. I'm not really sure. But whatever it is, the 66 does not have the provision for it. So I should probably also check the clutch linkage here. This is really close. Well, I know it was meant to be in this orientation because that's where the hole is. So this would go like here. Oops. So let me see. If I go like this, it goes more like that. Go like that, it's more like that. This feels right to me. Nice. Nutsert in. Apparently my 5/16 game is really weak. All I have is this hex head bolt, but it'll have to do for now. That is there. Now we're going to do the breather. Okay, so these are the lines that feed into that. Seems like there's a bit of an interference here at this bend. Front is done. Oh no, I gotta do my caliper brakes. Well, gotta hand it to Tom's. They tell you which way. It says point it up, so up it is. You got this copper washer, you wanna seat it, so I'm gonna make it tight, loosen it up, and then tighten it again. Just got to connect the hard line to the soft line. That's on there now. So now the whole front brake line system is complete. For the rear, it's a very similar process. We'll not forget the lock washer like we did on the front and then had to go back and replace. I do have a problem here in that there's no hole here. It's on this side. So I need to pull out the brake cylinder and get a new one. Mistakes were made. Okay, I think that's good. Now I'm going to do the rear shocks. This one is basically just a front shock. Don't decompress, dude. Don't decompress. No, oh no, come on. There you go. All right. Yes, yes. Okay, just put the front shocks on. Same exact process as the rear. It's coming together. It's probably about time to put the gas tank in. Looks good. I'm actually just procrastinating to go to O'Reilly's because it's raining cats and dogs out there, so I thought I'd take care of this. Axle vent breather hose. It basically sticks into the frame. It's kind of a tight fit with this, using just regular fuel line, 5/16. So it's a little tight fit, so I just spray it down with some Windex. And a hose clamp that I had to hog out to fit a 5/16 bolt. And just tightening it down. All right, time to swing this motor into place, hopefully for the last time. Oh, I forgot to extend the boom out. Now I'm going to attempt to put on the flex plate. I've already gotten the pilot bearing installed. I don't know if this is like a Chevy, but with the Chevys, they only go on one way. No, it looks like... Oh my God. Let's just do that again a little slower. The best part is they weigh like 60 pounds, so that looks right. I just split 1.25 quarts of wood with Gavin, and I am totally spent. So yesterday you saw me drop this, and I need to just clean it of the debris, but my clutch alignment tool is designed for, most Jeep AX15s have a big snout. A few have a narrow snout that's like 0.57 inches, so the clutch alignment tool did not work. So what I did was I cut the end of it and I basically pressed a 10mm socket that's pretty close. And so this should get me close enough to be able to get my clutch on here with my flex or my pressure plate, and then I can kind of wiggle it around till it's where I want, put it on. So I'm just going to clean my pressure plate, clean this with brake cleaner. Now I don't want to run these down tight yet until I feel comfortable with my clutch alignment. This material is the clutch and this is the pressure plate. So if I play with it, you can see how I can get a whole range of motions down here. You want to get it as centered as possible before you tighten down your pressure plate. So I'm just using my fingers as guides because I can feel the lip here and trying to make the lip even all the way around. And that feels pretty good. I've got this sucker ready to swing in. Just a couple straps holding that on. Get it nice and high, swing it over, bring it down. Try not to hit my new brake lines. I didn't record some of this because of the vacuum, but remember, what do they say when it's okay to vacuum? Is it okay to vacuum? Yes, it is. I've got the weight of the transmission on this jack stand here. I think it's at close to the height it's supposed to be when it's running, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna grab the cross member, test fit it a couple times. Houston, I am your father. The transmission studs are not going into the cross member holes. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out why, and there's actually two things working against me here. First, I talked to Phil from Harman Customs, and the distance from the inside frame rail to the center, the very center of the output yoke should be 10 3/4 inches. Mine is at just, it's more than that. It's like 11 inches. So I'm a 1/4 inch off that way. Problem. I can't, there's just there's no room. So I did the measurement of the front motor mounts, and whoever welded on these V8 conversion mounts mounted this side further away from the front cross member than the driver's side, which is causing the whole thing to twist. And you can actually see it when you run down, when you look down the center, the whole drivetrain is twisted clockwise. So I got to twist it counterclockwise a 1/4 inch. The way I'm going to do that, I'm going to pick the engine up and I'm going to embiggen that hole where the motor mount sits by just a 1/4 inch, and that should get me my 1/4 inch, not even like half of that, so 1/8 there will give me a 1/4 here. But that's only half of my problem. That's more than a 1/4 inch off of the hole. You see the hole over here and the stud above it? That's more like a little more than 1/2 inch, maybe kissing on 3/4, like 5/8 off. It happens. You know, if I called Tom's and told them about this, I'm sure they'd send me a corrected cross member. Sometimes there's just production errors. But I'm here, I can work with metal, so I'm just going to pull it out, modify it, and get it back. But the first thing I'm gonna do is get the motor mount set or fixed so that I can get this output shaft exactly where I want it at 10 3/4 inches from the passenger side. And then I can, boop, put the transmission down, mark where the bolts are, and then I can just, with great precision, put it right there. Now I can force this over if I use like a bar, but then you're just putting tremendous tension on your motor mounts and they'll just fail sooner. So I'd rather have it sitting with no tension on any of the mounts, which is ideal. So let me get to lifting the engine again. I got some tubing that should work just fine. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna lower it down till it's touching so that in case there's a dynamic action that it doesn't pull that tube out of the way and hurt me. I basically put it back in. I've got the adjustability in the back. Now it gets down to 10.5. It's supposed to be 10 3/4. And then I just set the level using a crowbar on this side to sort of keep this engine up while it dropped in. Now it's sitting level with the frame. This is bubbled up on this side, same bubble on the frame, so it's level in the frame, relative. And yeah, so now I'm gonna get some bolts and washers and get that put into place here. You can see here, I put little dimples with a drill just so I wouldn't lose it when I take the metal off. So I think I'm gonna plasma cut this, but these little notches are what I had to put in the cross member to bring it right. There's another issue in that the cross member is about 1/8 of an inch too short, so I got some 1/8 inch plate, and I'm just gonna make a filler piece to go on this side. I suck at plasma cutting, so don't laugh at me. What did I tell you? Okay, I'm gonna do something I never do, which is I'm gonna let the paint dry on the parts. Then I'll come back tomorrow and put her in. I forgot to turn my mic on, so voiceover time. I grab the spacer plate, get the cross member and gently ease it in there very gracefully. Just get it slide right into position, and I get the spacer plate in there. Oh, no, okay, right, yeah, okay, right there. Then I get my sausage fingers in that little place and get the bolts in. And this is super exciting. Watch this. Oh, that was it. And then I got to get the clutch adjuster thing back on there. Just loose, just zip it in. Zip. Then there's this through rod that holds a little thing I got from Tom's Off-Road. And oh, not that hole, Matt, not that hole. That goes in there. And that holds the other side of the clutch Z-bar holder honor thingy. I'm going to put that on slowly. Well, at this point, the voiceover should be stopping and I should be back to normal audio. The Z-bar, I had to massage this out of the way, but the Z-bar is not level. I feel like it should be level. In order for it to be level, this whole contraption would have to either come down about a ½ inch, or the Z-bar bracket would need to be lifted up off the frame about a ½ inch. Would love some opinions on that one. All right, the way I'm seeing it, this angle maybe isn't so bad, but what's blowing me away is even with the, it's even at the shortest, even if I put it here, it's too long. Is the V6 one, or is the inline 6 one longer than the V8 one? It must be, right? How would that make, yeah, because the motor's longer. Dang it, I gotta get a shorter one of these. Starting to get a few fit and fitment issues, nothing unusual, just need to work through them. But my goal really for this episode was to make this thing a roller, so we're just gonna do that. You saw it here, folks. She rolls. Oh, it's a big milestone. Rolling chassis. Oh, I've got a bit of a dilemma now. I've gotten into this milestone and I got a lot of detail work to do and I'm not sure whether to show it. Like I got to do the accessory drives. I got to figure out the clutch connection. I got to figure out what bolts go on the transmission. I got to, plumb up the fuel tank, but none of it's like particularly exciting. Do you guys care? Like, I can just skip to the point where I start body work. I don't know. Let me know. I'm interested. I might not listen, but I'm interested. See you next time on Matt's Garage.